Hello, everyone, and we are live with the Extra Point. It's our famous bowl pick week.
Christmas extravaganza bowl
We
pick.
got festive Cali over here.
Yeah, it's Ugly Sweater Day. He doesn't have his on. He took it off.
I
for the
saw
podcast.
he had a hat on. I mean, I should have made him wear it.
Yeah. Well, I had a hat on too, but I figured for the people watching, it'd be best.
And I'm at least dressed in festive colors.
Yeah, we match, kind of.
So, yes, we're red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
We are all American.
USA.
All right, let's talk some Tullahoma sports and basketball, Zach.
Let's do it. Well, the girls team is 5-6 on the year. It's coming off of a 74-48 win yesterday, really kind of dominating win over in the Sonics tournament over in Sparta. So it was a good win, especially since the Lady Cats were coming off the 2 1-point losses last week. So it was good to get back in the win column. So 5-6 on the year. The boys unfortunately lost their game yesterday. Red Bank in a 77-67 battle. So they dropped 7-4 on the season. They've kind of hit a little bit of a skid losing the last 2 games. So hopefully they'll try to get back with a win today. They play this afternoon at 2 o'clock. And, of course, yeah, both teams still have 2 games left to go in this tournament. It concludes Friday in Sparta. So it'll be good to see how they turn out. And hopefully the Lady Cats can get back to 500 on the season. That'd be ideal at this point. So, and it's been a good season overall, and then they're going to head back into tournament play next week. So there's no shortage of rest for these basketball teams during the winter break.
I saw a complete shellacking on Facebook the other day from East or
from West.
Yeah.
The West teams has absolutely dominated the East teams on both the boys and girls side of the ball. Kind of tells you the difference in the 2 middle school programs at this point. So, I mean, the East girls are getting better, but they've been so run down the last few years that they're just now starting to show signs of progress. They have 3 wins on the season. That's better than the last at least the last 3 years alone. So they're making their way toward there, but West obviously still the ideal program here in Tullahoma.
Callie, can you tell us something about Franklin County basketball?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked last week about a big kind of a rival games coming up against Columbia. The girls did beat Columbia 80-30 to become 6-4 on the season. The boys, again struggling this season, they lost 58-43. The girls are off until after the until December 27th, where they'll head to Florida, like you said. No rest for these teams.
Yeah.
They're going to play the Catholic Crusader Christmas Classic in Pensacola. So good luck to those guys. The boys,
Florida, huh?
Yeah.
at Christmas time.
Tough time.
The boys did get their second win over Glencliff. Yeah, so
Did they lose the first game? They were in the Christmas the Red Raider Christmas Classic, wasn't
I
it?
didn't see any scores for that, but
I know some
I
teams
could've
played
missed that.
Monday, and we're supposed to play again Tuesday, and I think the final was today, but I forgot to go look before we started.
yeah, they did win over Glencliff 57-51. Huntland also gets the boys actually get their second win also on the season over Granite County, and the Lady Hornets win over Granite County as well. They'll play, both of them will play, one of them play in the Lady Patriots Classic in Alabama on December 28th, and the boys will play in the Whitwell Christmas Tournament on December 28th. So
And
they're staying busy.
When we give you these records, sometimes, folks, too, it sometimes doesn't take into consideration what happened in a tournament.
Yeah.
Because that's not always just available for us to see who won this game or that game. Coffee County, on the other hand, the girls are 10-1 on the season, 2-0 in the district.
Yeah.
They last won against Huntland. They will be at the Whitwell Christmas Tournament on December 28th, and I think they take on Ringgold, Georgia. The boys, I actually forgot to write it down, but the last I had written down was the boys were 7-2. I do believe they won against Huntland last week. However, I believe they lost their first game Monday versus maybe Smyrna. So they're probably sitting on around 8-3 for the season. So they're actually having a pretty good season. And I know I don't think they have a tournament. To talk about Moore County boys are struggling. They're 1-8 on the season. The only team they had beat, they lost to Community last week by 26. So it's not looking real good for those guys. They are going to the Smoky Mountain Classic versus Pigeon Forge, and that's in Gatlinburg today. The first day of winter, by the way.
I didn't realize that.
The girls are 7-2 on the season. They're actually having a decent season. They beat Community. They are going to the Smoky Mountain Classic in Gatlinburg, and they play Creekwood to start with. So we want to wish those teams that are going to the tournaments good luck.
Safe travel, Kate.
Yes, safe travels. Make sure you get back home, and I hope everyone enjoys your holiday that you're fixing to have. Are there any more shout-outs, guys, to local teams or to anything else that we have?
Not anything I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. If we're going to shout about things, let's talk about National Signing Day real briefly, which took place yesterday. I saw that Tennessee ranked 37th in National Signing Day, and Vanderbilt ranked.
Well, early signing.
Exactly.
Early signing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, early signing period. So most coaches don't really like the early signing period.
No.
And I can see why they wouldn't, because things are still so.
Especially moving it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm you know me. We talked about this before we went on air. It's frustrating because you don't know what a player's going to do until they get on the field playing on a Saturday. Then you really get to. That's where the rubber meets the road.
That's probably one of the good things. Tennessee signed number one JUCO. Was it tight end?
Yeah, I think so.
That's probably one good thing about getting the number one JUCO tight end, because you know
Yeah.
what they do at
Yeah.
the collegiate level.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And JUCO players have proven to be pretty beneficial over the last
They help
couple of
fill in
years.
holes.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember if you go back, I think I can't remember. It may have been it was one of our running backs, maybe Chuck Webb or somebody. I can't remember which one it was.
We've had a lot of JUCO
Was it JUCO
players.
player?
Yeah. Cam Newton was a JUCO player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never can tell. And like she said, keep our fingers crossed, but hopefully we're not the 37th ranked signing team in the country.
We have a coach that's worth the dang who's got
Well,
to do. I mean, I'm
and
going
he's
to
gotta
take
have
baby
some
steps
time,
first.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to take baby steps first, and then we.
Let's see how Tennessee shapes up at the Gideon.
And getting this
Yeah,
this JUCO player, he was actually they were saying Alabama, Ohio State that he was going to. You know, Pruitt comes in, talks to the guy, gets him to commit to Tennessee.
And isn't Alante Taylor supposed to sign tomorrow officially?
He's
Yeah.
pretty much committed
With
to University of Tennessee right now.
And that's another locally, that's a really, it's good to see Tennessee recruits committing, because that's something we struggled with really until Butch Jones came into the picture. I mean, he did help with in-state recruiting, so you have to give that to him.
Yeah. Now, Georgia and Clemson were salivating. You heard any reports about their early signing period?
I heard they signed the number one quarterback, which is kind of odd because they have Easton still. I don't think he's transferred out.
No.
And then Fromm is still there. So what do they need with the quarterback unless they plan on redshirting him?
And probably exactly that right there.
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of confuses you sometimes because they're just going after him because of talent. But if I'm a quarterback and I'm good, I don't want to sit on the bench.
Well, and then I've heard rumors that Easton's supposed to transfer out because of that situation.
Yeah, but
he doesn't want to
he
sit.
won't go to an SEC school.
No, I don't think he'll be able to go to an SEC.
Well, he can, but you have to sit out a whole year.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
So with that being said, let's talk real quick about MTSU. Did anybody watch that game? MTSU won.
Oh yeah, I
35-30.
did. Yeah, it was a good game. It was a very good
Pretty
game.
exciting.
Yeah.
And I think the Arkansas, I think it was Arkansas State they played, took them a little lightly. Of course, the quarterback, Brent Stockstill, was out for several games, so the record really didn't indicate maybe how good the team was.
Yeah.
And they had a very good game. So congratulations to the MTSU Blue Raiders. We appreciate it. We enjoyed watching the game. And, they've had some pretty good success.
They have.
So
They're a lot of fun to watch.
yeah. Let's get off. We're going to come back to college football because we're going to do our picks here in just a little bit. UT basketball for a minute. Me and you were talking.
Yeah.
They should have beaten North Carolina.
I think they should have. It's just in those last few minutes, but that's kind of indicative maybe of a young team. I'm not as versed in basketball.
That's kind of what the announcers were. The North Carolina was this team that we're not young. We're not. We've been in this situation before, and they won.
Well, and there was a play there at the end where they left. Oh, it was the very last 3-pointer that Tennessee scored. Nobody was on that guy because they didn't expect him to shoot. It was kind of a rookie mistake they called it a rookie mistake by a veteran player there at the end. Because I really didn't think I don't think they thought Tennessee was going to play them like they played them. So, but they're such a young team and they're doing so well.
But I was even surprised they came out and said, well, they dropped like 2 spots in the polls, but it's kind of like, how do you drop 2 spots in the polls when you lose to the number 7 team in the country by
5 points? Yeah.
The polls. All right. Well, that's enough. We'll come back to college football because we're going to make some picks. Zach said he could spend the whole 30 minutes talking about how bad the Titans are.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to that. Are we going to talk
we're going to talk about that
Titans right now? My gosh, how do you lose to San Francisco in a much-needed win? How do you?
How do you, when you have the game won, let them come back to get in field goal range, and then
I wouldn't say that
you have one job. You have one job.
I mean, they let them jump up and get ahead.
Well, that's true.
There's still got to be some issues with the secondary. I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's issues with the secondary, but most notably, there's issues with this offense. What is going on with this offense? Come on, you put up 12 points against Arizona. I know Arizona has a pretty good defense, but come on. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL this year. You need to win that game, and then you have to come back. Okay, you lose that one. You have to refocus your mind and get ready for San Francisco. Because with the rest of the Titans schedule, I don't see them getting a win. No. They're not. I don't think they're going to beat L.A., and I sure as heck don't think they're going to beat Jacksonville the way Jacksonville's playing this last.
Yeah, they're playing with.
Well, it's kind of funny though. One of the players was like, "Well, we know this is a must-win." It was kind of like, "Well, what were the last 2 games must-wins?"
All these games
pretty much are must-win.
Yeah, I mean, they still could make the playoffs at this point. I think they need luck. I think they need to win. Number one, if they can maybe go 1-1 over these next 2 games.
I don't even see that unless the Rams decided, we're just going to bench our players. That's the only way I see.
I think their best chance to get a win is over Jacksonville because it's at home and Bortles you never know what you're going to get from Bortles.
Yeah, but just the way that he's been playing and that defense is playing overall, I just can't see the Titans, especially with the Titans offense going up against that defense. I just don't see them being able to get a win.
I don't disagree with you. I've got some things in here because I guess we've already asked what is the Titans' problem.
Offense.
Should someone be fired?
I think that's a real possibility at this point. And you saw one of their wide receivers call out their play calling in the final minutes of that San Francisco game, saying that he'd rather see Mariota make the play calls than whoever was. I think it was the OC that was making the play call. So
it's Robisky, Terry Robisky.
Yeah, Robisky. So
they got the weirdest names.
Yeah, Titans still have some big problems. We know that.
Yeah.
Speaking of big problems, the NFL review policy, in my opinion, is becoming a joke.
You're bringing this up, aren't you?
Yeah, that's how you post something.
It wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't bothered by that at all.
Well, and per the rules and the definition, I don't think it was a catch, but
then there's got to be undisputable evidence to overturn
it.
And this is the thing that keeps getting lost. Everybody can argue that it's a catch, it's not a catch, whatever. So, but where's the undisputable evidence that he dropped the ball and walked the hit the ground? To me, obviously, I'm a little bit biased. I thought James had his hand underneath the football and secured it.
Well, and I'm not biased, and I feel like there was no undisputable evidence that it was in fact not a catch.
And my thing is, and I'm not biased. I watched it. Where's the point to where a player makes a catch, turns to make a move, then gets hit, then goes to the ground, and then the ball comes out? It's not. It's an incomplete. No, he made a move. He made the catch. It's kind of like you can't have a 5 second. I can take 12 steps and then somebody hits me and I hit the ground and I didn't complete the catch.
My question is, how is that a catch in every other football league? Say in college football, high school football, that is a touchdown, except for in the NFL because
I like it when they come out and they say, hey, there's really no evidence to overturn the call on the field. But nowadays they want to come out and say, oh, the call's been confirmed. And I'm like, how can you say it's been confirmed?
No, I agree.
The NFL needs to look at what needs to determine what a catch is. Well,
even back when me and you were at the same game, the Titans game, and they called the guy, they gave him a first down, and it was clear on the play that he was probably a good half a yard back.
Oh, yeah.
But they're like, oh, no, we can't see it. I'm like, how can you not see it?
Yeah.
How? So, I'd rather just come out and say, hey, we really can't tell. per the angle where the ball is. So, but anyway, that's enough about that. We're going to talk real quick. The Predators, they lost Tuesday night in a close game. It was a good game. They have a game tonight. However, they went on the road in Canada. They won 3 straight up in Canada. They're sitting at the top. I don't know if they're number 1 right now, but they're sitting at the top of the Western Conference with one of the best records in hockey.
Good.
Get online, go get you some tickets or something, go out there and support a team. And speaking of supporting teams, what about Nashville getting a Major League Soccer?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Exciting.
So,
Big news.
I do think there's a lot of people, I was kind of concerned when the Predators came to town that we would support a hockey team. I do think it took winning,
of course,
before we really get out and support the hockey team. But I think there's a lot of love built up for that.
Oh, yeah.
So even if they do go through a couple of hard times, I still see
people supporting.
Yeah, I see them getting supported. Speaking of support, you guys are going to be supporting me because I'm going to kick y'all's butts in this year's picks.
Maybe. I'm
All
fixing a principal pick.
Before we go to the picks, I had some stuff written down here. Let's see. Titans, Callie, you said at the beginning of the season the Titans were going to go 9-7. I said they're going to go 9-7. Zach, you said 11-5. So as of now, they're 8-6. So you're out of that, Zach. And me and Callie look good. After week 5, the Mariota injury, we had said 8-8. I said 7-9, and you said 8-8.
Yep.
So right now,
I'm in the running for that one.
Yeah, you're in the running for that one.
Can we make a change?
And we both, Zach and I said the Titans would not make the playoffs, and Callie was the optimistic one that said they would.
I mean, they still have a chance at this point. Well, they still have a chance. They're still in the playoffs at this point.
Overall, Zach, for the picks for the year, you're 59-35. Callie, you're 54-40, and I'm 57-37, and I'm fixing to play catch up. First game, Kentucky versus Northwestern.
Here in Nashville.
That's right. This one is a tough one for me. Callie, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I'm going to say Kentucky since they kind of have a home field advantage of sorts. I like the SEC in this.
Well, I guarantee you the Wildcats will get a win in that game. But I'm going Kentucky as well. That's my cheesy joke.
That's your cheesy joke. And Kentucky's been a weird team to really kind of forecast. I think there's more consistency with Northwestern than there has been with Kentucky, but maybe they fixed it. I'm actually going with Northwestern on this one. Ohio State versus USC. Zach, I'm sure you've got an opinion on this one.
This one was a tough game for me to pick. I'm going Ohio State. I just like what I've seen a little bit better from them. So I'm going Ohio State.
Yeah, and I have to probably agree with you, Ohio State. I think they have a lot to prove, too, the fact that they didn't make it. There's been a lot of talk about if you're not in that top 4, what does it really matter anymore? I think this is a game that it matters to them.
Yeah, I'm principal picking this one, so I'm probably going to put USC.
USC.
They've been hot and cold for me this year, but hopefully they can pull an upset. Nothing would make me happy.
Yes, Penn State versus Washington. Callie, we're going to come back to you on this one.
Yeah, both hot and cold teams. At times, you thought Penn State was going to be in your top 4. And Washington has been hot and cold. But I'm going to go ahead. I can't stand Penn State, so Washington it will be.
I love how she just picks.
Principal picks. I can't stand them.
I'm actually going to go with Penn State on this one. I too think it's going to be I just think Penn State's going to win it. What do you think?
I think Washington.
You think
Washington in this one, just because Penn State's offense has been very inconsistent at times. So Washington, I've liked more what I've seen from them.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of the West Coast teams. They don't play a whole lot of defense. It's really kind of hard to get a judge on them. If they don't get up and blow you out, and you're probably going to lose. I think this one's going to be a tough game to decide. Miami versus Wisconsin. I'll tell you what, I'll start this one. Miami's – I'm not sold on them yet. I am sold on Wisconsin, and I think the Big 10 or Big 12, whatever we call them now, is going to have a good bowl season. So I'm
what was the score with Ohio State?
It was very close. I think it was a field goal.
Yeah, it was close.
Or a 4-point game.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Let Zach go.
Go ahead.
I wrote down that I thought Miami was going to win. I'm going to switch that up. I like Wisconsin's defense a little bit better than I like Miami's. defense. So I'm going to go Wisconsin.
Both teams got a lot to prove in this game. Both had a chance to be in that top four and didn't make it. But I got to go with Wisconsin. I think they've got a definite chip on their shoulder, maybe a little bit more so than Miami.
Well, I think Wisconsin, they lost to Ohio State, which cost them, unfortunately. Miami kind of blew it a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Well, essentially they lost. They had a perfect season.
Field goal for being in the final.
Yeah.
Of course, I think once again, I think the Big 10 or Big 12, whatever we call it now, is going to have a good bowl season. This one's going to be tough. Michigan versus South Carolina. We're going to come back to Cali on this one.
Michigan, just not in South Carolina.
I'm thinking South Carolina in the upset. Sort of an upset, at least. I just think
they starting at quarterback for Michigan?
Michigan's offense has been so inconsistent this year that I'm going South Carolina. I know South Carolina's offense isn't much better, but
I'm actually going to go against Cali on this one. I'm going to go South Carolina too. I think it's going to be a very, very close game.
Yeah.
Which a lot of them I think will be. We'll go to the next one here. Auburn versus UCF. I think
the only undefeated team in the FBS
that's
right now.
Going to be
UCF.
I think UCF has a lot to prove. I think Scott Frost has done an excellent job already with Nebraska getting recruits. That's what helps having a coach in place a couple of weeks prior. But anyway, I think the Cinderella season is over for UCF. I'm going with Auburn on this one.
I'm exactly with you. I think the Cinderella story comes to an end, and then of course Frost is leaving to Nebraska already, so I'm going Auburn.
Yeah, I like Auburn as well.
So we're going to come back to Cali, and we got Notre Dame versus LSU.
I haven't been impressed with Notre Dame all year. They overrated LSU. They had that one loss to Troy, and then they came back, and they never looked back after that. So
no, I would agree with you. I mean, their other loss was a close loss. They played Alabama.
Yeah. They played them close, and so I just think that they've got the upper hand on this one.
So I'm going to jump on the Cali bandwagon, which I don't do very often, and I'm going to go with LSU on this one.
I don't know if I'm a bandwagon.
I'm going against you guys. I'm saying Notre Dame in this one. Notre Dame played Georgia closer earlier this year.
They need a signature win. Notre Dame needs a signature win.
I'm going with Notre Dame.
I think this one's going to – I don't know. Let's start with you, Zach. Mississippi State versus Louisville.
I like Louisville on this one. Just Mississippi State losing its starting quarterback in that Egg Bowl game, I think is really going to come back to haunt them a little bit. So I'm going Louisville on this one.
Also, Mullen, will he be coaching this game?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. He's pretty much.
Yeah, then I want Louisville.
I kind of have to agree with you. I think things are a little bit up in the air with the quarterback situation, the coach situation, and but you never know. So, but I'm going Louisville. Stanford versus TCU. We're going to come back to you one more time, Callie.
Yeah, I'm going with Stanford on this one. This was hard. That was a hard pick.
Oh, I know.
I think it's a very tough
TCU is just, I don't know.
This is the one that I had mentioned to you. I thought was kind of a toss-up one. Who you got, Zach?
I got TCU in this one. I just think I've seen a little bit more from TCU on both sides of the ball, so I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going both teams. Stanford let me down in the final. I'm going to go with TCU on this one, but I really think it could be a toss-up.
Yeah.
I'll start the next one. Wake Forest versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M didn't really have that bad season like UT did.
No.
However, just inconsistent, got their coach fired. I'm going with Texas A&M on this one. I don't know if Wake Forest is that good.
Yeah, I'm going Texas A&M this one, but it totally wouldn't shock me if losing your head coach that Wake Forest does end up pulling a win. But I'm saying Texas A&M wins.
Yeah, I'm going to go for SEC win on this one too.
All right, it's time to get to the big games. We'll start at the bottom first because we all three think that first one's going to be very tough. So let's do Clemson versus Alabama. Basically, this is them saying Clemson's the number 1 team versus Alabama the number 4 team. Zach, who you got?
I've got Clemson beating Alabama for a second straight year. I just like what I've seen more from Clemson.
Yeah, that was tough. You go ahead, Joe. I gotta take a
I've got Alabama proving a point. That's why they deserve to be there. So
Yeah, beating a team 2 years in a row, that's tough. But Clemson has had a stellar year, but Alabama's also.
because it wasn't that what Alabama faced last year was beating Clemson 2 years in a row.
Or I
can't remember who was, but that's what I was thinking. Come on, Callie, I'm waiting on you.
All right, I'm gonna go Clemson.
That's going to be the game that gives me back the lead.
Yeah, pretty much. It will be.
Oklahoma versus Georgia. Now we're going to start with you, Callie.
I'm going Georgia. I mean, Sonny Michel, Nick Chubb last game. You got Fromm and the quarterback. You know, they got a big old point to prove. And wouldn't it be great to beat the Heisman winner?
Yeah, I would agree. They're going to have to beat the Heisman.
They're going to have to, yeah.
Oh, you're putting it on me now?
Yeah.
I'm going Georgia in this one. I think I'm torn about this. I'm very torn to see, or I really want to see how Oklahoma's offense does against Georgia's defense.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most intrigued by. But I think Georgia has enough defense to beat Oklahoma's offense. So I'm going to pick Georgia in this one, going against my Sooners.
This is very tough for me because it's kind of like what you said. If Baker Mayfield has a great day, Oklahoma wins.
Mm-hmm.
If Baker Mayfield doesn't have a great day, Georgia wins.
Yep.
I think Georgia has more of the talent in place to win this game and set up an SEC final.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Baker Mayfield.
Ooh.
All right. Oklahoma in this one. I think Auburn showed.
He's doing that for the numbers. That's the only reason he's doing that.
I like Oklahoma. However, I do not like Oklahoma to win the national championship. I like Alabama to win the national championship. Callie?
Oh, that's so hard. It's really hard.
You have either Georgia or Clemson.
Georgia or Clemson.
You do
I just figure it's Clemson's. I don't think it's Georgia's time yet. I just don't. It doesn't, the women's intuition is not there. So, but Clemson, it feels like a repeat.
I'm going Clemson. I think they're going to be repeat national champions.
I think that's almost impossible to do these.
It is. But who would have thought at the beginning of the year we'd have saw Clemson back in the top four?
Who would have thought we'd have saw Clemson lose to Syracuse?
Exactly. But who would have, it's been a crazy, and that's why you play the game.
I would see Alabama losing to Auburn. You know, I could see Georgia losing to Auburn. I can't see Clemson losing to Syracuse. That's it, folks. Callie, Zach will be gone next week.
I will.
Callie is going to be
Hopefully having a baby.
So you guys probably won't see us till the first of the year, but hopefully after the first of the year we'll come together and we'll talk about how I took the lead and I prevailed, and I'm the smartest prognosticator on the of the panel.
On this side of the table, I was about to say, let's not go
We
anywhere.
want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yep.
And we will see you come the first of the year. Zach, you ready? We're gonna have to Skype her in, or
We are, yeah. We're going to have to get her in here
you have to
somehow.
send us pictures of the baby so we can show our 4 or 5 viewers that we
Yeah, he'll
have.
be wearing a Tennessee onesie and a Michigan hat, so that's how that's going to go.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah,
All right, folks. Once again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
thanks.